Listen, we had Balls Mahoney. This is nothing compared to Balls Mahoney. I could do a complete and utter podcast about stories of Balls Mahoney.
Well, you're on a stage. You got a crowd.
All right.
Here we go.
Atlanta, Georgia. Tommy Dreamer and Francine almost get carjacked the first time we're at the Tabernacle. That's a whole other story. I get into the hotel at maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, and one Balls Mahoney is in the lobby where also ECW happened to be staying at a vampire convention as well as Extreme Championship Wrestling Superstars. So one Balls Mahoney was in the hotel lobby blading and cutting open his arm with a beer bottle while 3 women were sucking his blood in the lobby. And Balls would also, pre-9/11, get onto an airplane with Joe Boxer happy-faced underwear and a Balls Mahoney t-shirt that would be cut to his liking. Yeah. And when Balls Mahoney would sit in his Joe Boxer's underwear, he'd go like this, and the penis hole would open up, and he'd have his penis exposed while 3 girls were sucking his blood in a lobby of a hotel. And he was like, I'm never leaving. And I said, well, John, we're going to go about 2 hours. We got to leave. So I go up to my room, come back down. I'm checking out. And the hotel manager guy goes, excuse me, is he with you? And I look over, and one Balls Mahoney is sitting now passed out with dried blood all over his body. And he's in the chair like this with the beer bottle like this. And I said, yeah, no problem. I said, hey, Balls, we're going. Checking out, blah, blah, blah. Balls, we're going. Hey, John, let's go. I'm leaving you. Okay, Tommy. Gets up, goes. Now we get on an airplane in not even white tape, how he used to do it, in Joe Boxer underwear. Gets on the airplane, talks to the woman. Yeah, Balls Mahoney, ECW, we're sitting there. This lady has her young child with her. It's a mother. And he's like, I'm just going to fall asleep, so if you need anything, I'll take the aisle. She's like, no. And we're all enjoying this because we were a real cool fraternity. And Balls giant. Balls about 350 pounds, by the way, at this point. As the plane starts taking off, Balls is now sleeping. The plane starts to take off, and with the pressure as you start to go up, all of Balls Mahoney's open wounds just start gushing on the plane. And he's sitting there, we're taking off. This lady is now horrified, takes her child like this. We're all laughing like you are all laughing. And then we took the white part of the pillowcase, and because here comes a flight attendant, because a man is gushing blood from his arm and from his head. And we're like, no, we got it. And we just placed the pillowcases all around his head, and then he woke up with dried blood pillowcases. And that was what I like to call Saturday in ECW. Here's another one. Pittsburgh, Balls Mahoney. Balls Mahoney, Little Guido, Tommy Dreamer, and someone else. We used to go to the diner right by the airport. And a fan, a lot of times in ECW, we always had that, is it real, is it fake? And someone said something to Balls Mahoney, and the fan hit Balls, and Balls just laid out the dude one shot. Boom, knocked him out. Cops come in. We're arresting Balls Mahoney. This was the night before we were doing TV in Pittsburgh, and 3 police officers. His accomplice is now Little Guido. So if you all know Little Guido, Guido Maritato, he's also crazy, but in a cool way. So
he's like a cool crazy.
Yeah, it's a whole other level of craziness. So Balls' defense and everyone is saying, well, this guy hit him first, whatever. So, but then Balls gets to speak as he's sitting on the curb, borderline crying because he's going to jail, handcuffed, and his defense to 3 police officers. No. Paul's putting the straps on me and Axel, and we are the focal point of TV. Don't arrest me. So now if we realize this case, 1, I'm telling a total stranger, Paul, who's Paul? We don't know who Paul is putting straps, I don't know what that is, on me and Axel, who's Axel, and we're the focal point of TV, and the cops let him go.
It just
That's what I like to call Friday night in ECW in Pittsburgh.
TV.
Yep.
A TV is the focal point. You want to close it out with a third one? You want to close it out with Sunday?
Well, I can't tell that story. Man, I got a lot, but some I have to not tell.
Sure. Oh, I thought it was Balls Mahoney.
No, it's there's a lot of some stuff has to go when you die.
Right.
You want to tell again? I mean, every weekend, Balls would get on an airplane with white tape on his head, and again, pre 9/11 in underwear, sit down on an airplane with his penis exposed, his man area not manscaped, and usually bleeding on most flights when you take off or when you. So that was seriously every weekend for 7 years. So I mean, it's if you're a normal person, which most of you are, even though you don't watch. If you're an abnormal person and you don't watch wrestling, because you're stupid if you don't watch wrestling.
Correct.
But here's this caveman-looking person who's bleeding next to me on an airplane. I mean, that was my norm, and that's how crazy.
But you liked it.
I loved it.
You wanted to sit next to Balls Mahoney.
I used to
see where it takes you.
Even in WWE, ECW, I would room with Guido and Balls because it was nonstop antics all the time, and I also would travel with Test, and all of us would be together. And most people didn't like Test. I love Test. I think about him every day. I miss him every day. And he would be like, Balls, I think you're a fat jobber. I love you, but I think you're disgusting, and I don't want you to ever touch me. So their greeting was, hi, Balls. And he'd go, hi, Test. And they would never touch, but they were like really, really. And we would go to gyms.
Just imagine you're in real life and you're not.
Hey, Balls. Hey, Test.
Hey,
what
Balls.
up?
That's normal.
But they would never. And then Balls would always be like, I'm going to go to the gym and work out, and Test look like a god. And right before they go in, Balls would be smoking a cigarette and be like, I'll be outside, guys. Hey, my shoulder hurts, and he wouldn't come work out. I guess the most famous Balls Mahoney urban legend was Balls Mahoney he's actually he loves fishing, and
of course he does.
He was, I guess it's a fisherman's tale. He was off the coast of New Jersey and captured a 12-foot great white shark and dove into the water.
This is his story?
This is his story that he will tell many, many people. Dove into the water because they couldn't get it up because it was such a heavy shark. And Balls Mahoney decided to, he had to catch this great white. It could eat somebody. It's like Jaws. He decides that I have to kill this great white before I bring it on, and I decide not to go with a gun, not to go with a knife, not to go with a fork, but he went into the ocean with a spork, killed the great white shark, and then military pressed the shark into the boat. If you see Balls Mahoney, you ask him the Balls sporking story, and he will tell you.
I'd say,
and from the, I don't mean to cut you off, interrupt. From the Paul Heyman, George Costanza, it's not a lie if you believe it. So, Balls Mahoney, I don't think that one actually happened, but to Balls, it truly did.
I was going to say, let's give it up for Tommy Dreamer, but let's give it up for Balls Mahoney, huh?